Hey everybody, this is a live memory training session. I'm working on name and face recall using Anki and Memory League, and this is a real study session, so feel free to just study along, hang out quietly, or ask questions in the chat if you want to. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to sync up my Anki from my phone with my computer. Okay, so now I'm going to hop over here to my computer and open up Anki. So the plan tonight is every 50 or so cards that I study, I'm going to try to do a few extra rounds of the Memory League. And then if we have time at the end of the training session, depending on how tired I am and how quickly we go through the review of the cards, then I'm going to try and add new cards to my deck because I have been able to get down below the 200 mark for reviewing each day. And so it's time to try and add some new cards to that deck and see if I can learn enough name and image associations that I can really speed up my time on Memory League. I do think that, well, first of all, my brain is scattered. But I do think that it's possible to have trained for Memory League in a way that I may be able to create a mental database of almost all of the names that are in Memory League specifically and be even better at the competition this year for the USA Memory Championship. I don't know that that is necessarily feasible, but it could be that by practicing tasks specifically, so memorizing names and making sure that I have names that are within Memory League, I may be able to increase my time on that specific task as well. I think that Memory League has a representation of most normal common names in in the United States, but it um, doesn't mean that just by memorizing the most common names that you find on like a website or that you get uh, from AI that it will cover all the names. But by going through that website, I should be able to. But by going through Memory League, I should be able to go ahead and create a pretty good list of names on top of what I've already gotten. So, I can tell that I am frazzled today, just by the way I'm speaking. Okay, so I'm here in Anki. Julie. Carolina. A loaf of bread rising. It's going to be Brad. Donovan. Enrique. Okay. Gotten a little bit over 50, so I'm going to go ahead and hop over into Memory League. The last time that I practiced specifically with Memory League was a couple of days ago, because that was whenever I was able to make it to the next level in Memory League. And if I'm being honest, I was a little bit frightened to try it again in case I didn't score 12 again. It was a good moment that I wanted to relish for a little bit. Okay, so now that I've made it to level 8 on Memory League, I'll be given 22 names, and I have to get at least 15 correct in order to advance to level 9, which means that my best right now at memorizing names is 12 in 1 minute, and I'll need to increase that by 3. Which, when we're talking about 1 minute, that's a pretty big leap. If it was like you have 10 minutes and you need to memorize 3 additional names, that's a lot easier to finagle. But not complaining. I think that's a good goal. I'm glad that they don't make you jump up from like 12 names to 22 names in one level in terms of how many you have to remember. So I'm going to see how I do after a couple of days of not using Memory League and focusing mostly on review in Anki and being tired. But I guess that's normal. I tried a new strategy on that one to see if I could reduce the need to look for a distinguishing feature by just putting a big picture on somebody's face, and maybe the fact that it was interacting with the face with like the curvatures and everything would just naturally make it stick. It didn't seem to do that for me. So that kind of hampered my start, but I did notice that I got some of the names pretty quick. I'm still reviewing here. Okay. I think that I'm going to also take some notes here. So, Linda, we've got let's see. Okay. All right. Taking down some extra names. Let's go ahead and restart. And try another one. Okay. So not doing too bad. This round, I had a lot more names that I wasn't familiar with. So I think there may be a couple of different variables that come up with a larger set of names. One, there is a larger chance that you're going to come across a name you don't have a pre-made image for. And two, when you are doing the review, there are just more, there's 22 um, different faces to look at. So there's more of an opportunity for you to mix some of them up. So a little bit harder, but I'm gonna move this over here. Let's write down some of the names that I didn't recognize and I didn't have pre-made images for. Turns out there are more than I thought there would be. You really think when you come up with 500 names that you've found all the names. Okay. Coming back over here now to Anki. Someone patting a shoulder aggressively is Patricia. Irene. Eel changing lanes with bubbles. Oh. Phyllis. Now, to be honest, I have gone past the 50 mark again, but given how tired I am, and I can tell that it's carrying over into my ability to speak, and then also the energy to speak. This has been a pretty quiet live stream. I think that I'm going to do my review for today and go ahead and go to sleep. And I'm going to add those flashcards tomorrow. Doesn't sound good to procrastinate on getting something extra done, but I do have, if I put it into perspective, I do have to make sure that I'm able to get my work done tomorrow for my job. And sacrificing 30 minutes to do a little bit of practice, I think, is okay. But I have a lot going on at work. We got to make sure that we're able to get this project done, because we're going to have a big go live in about a month, and we've got a lot of work that we need to do to make sure that everything goes as good as possible. So I'm going to keep working, and then I'm going to shut down here in just a little bit. Leonard. Mabel. Step ladder with the stop at the top. Okay. All right, so we haven't been on that long tonight, but as a review, I am now at a point where I need to be adding more flashcards and doing review with newer cards so that I can expand kind of that database in my head. My immediate associations for names that I have been practicing are relatively quick, and if I have a pre-made image, I do spend more time trying to place the image on a person's face than I do conjuring the image. But when I come across a series of names that I haven't pre-made images for, it just takes so long to come up with the new image that it hurts my top score in coming up with top score in the name recall. So in the real world, again, it doesn't really matter if it takes me 5 or 6 seconds to come up with a name, but when I'm trying to increase my speed so that it only takes me a couple of seconds to win a competition, that's when speed really matters. And so I'm going to continue to work on that, see if I can find any additional strategies for placing those images in a quick way. But I know for sure one of the weaknesses that I have is that I've got 500-ish pre-made images, and I probably will need to double or quadruple that to really be having a comprehensive list of names in my head for competition purposes. So I'm going to stop there tonight. I know I've got a lot of work to do for memory training. So it's not that I'm stopping because I think that I've won the game, but I do have a lot of work related things that I have to be able to do tomorrow. So thank you guys for coming, and I will catch you next time.